Hello, Devin. I'm gonna quickly deploy using my Cloner 2 PS1 script. So I just need to deploy my 3 CentOS boxes, and I changed my JSON to preferred network Blue5, so I don't have to manually do that. So I can do this real quick. And then we're using CentOS base, I believe. CentOS 7.base. And it's going to be linked clone and CentOS 3. I think that's what we're calling them. And then I just have to do that 2 more times. So last time. And then they should all be done, so they should all be, I think they go straight to my base VMs, but yeah, here they are. I can throw them, drag them into my blue, and there's my 3 VMs. Okay, so now I'm gonna make sure that I have IPs on all of my systems that are up and running now. So I can do get IP using my utility script, and as you can see, CentOS 1, 2, and 3 all have valid IPs on the network. 75, 76, 77. They're not in order, which is kind of annoying, but that's okay. I think this one got put up first, so here we can show my DHCP leases. I have 3 currently. My 3 CentOS boxes, 1, 2, and 3, and these are the IPs of each of them, 75, 76, 77, and that is correct, 76, 75, 77. So next we have the Ansible Ping. After a little bit of firewall configurations, I was able to get the SSH to actually work, but now it actually works. This is using my Provision text playbook, which is on my CentOS servers. And there we are. Good pings all over the place. Hello, Devin. I just made the push public key YAML file. Put my key in there, and we're going to see if it works. I've tried a couple times. Had a couple typos, but hopefully it will work this time. And it should be the same, looking better than last time. And it looks good. So now that I have my public key on all of my VMs, I can SSH into them without a password. And I can also the root privileges without a password. Alright, so this is my networking script. I had a couple issues, a couple typos, but it should be working this time. Might take a little bit, but the host name was already changed, so hopefully it makes it through everything else. Looks good, no red. So now I'm going to... Okay, so it looks like my IPs have changed over. CentOS 1 is now at .11. CentOS 2 is now at .12. That's not right. So CentOS 3 is at .13. CentOS 2 is not doing hot. Let me try to figure out what's going on there. So I also had to do a reboot on 2, but I got my .12, my .11, my .13 all ready to go. So now I'm going to be deploying my CentOS, or not CentOS, my Ubuntu servers. So I just connected to my VI server. I'm going to choose X Ubuntu WAN 5 base. I'm going to do a linked clone. I'm going to call it Ubuntu 1. And then I'm going to do the same thing again. And they should both be created now. Yep, there they are. Ubuntu 1 and Ubuntu 2. So after a little bit of waiting and starting my VMs up, I eventually finally got my IPs. So I have a 78 and a 79 right now. So when I look at my DHCP, I can see that there are 5 current leases, and 2 of those being recent and Ubuntu. So those are my 2 Ubuntu IPs. So now I'm going to ping to make sure that they are both up and running and the SSH is working correctly. And yep, we got a pong back, so everything's working there. So now I'm going to push the playbook and get my public key sent over to my 2 servers. Okay, and now we can try to do an SSH to our box. And it's going to be passwordless, and we're going to do a sudo I. And no password, so that's all good. Okay, so I already ran the script, and I didn't record it, but here it is. This is my Ansible Playbook, doing networking on the Ubuntu network, and where is it? Here's my config script. Everything's in it: name, server, domain, gateway, IP, all that shenanigan. Provision 7. So I added the Ubuntu servers, their IPs, 14 and 15. It's on ENS 160, and then I also have, where is it, Ubuntu YAML file, which basically all I had to add, or I just had to change basically the config script and where it was writing to configure the IPs and all that. And then I also had to change this to netplan apply the changes and then reboot. And I think that's all I really changed. This is on Xubuntu, so I didn't do the cloud YAML file, whatever. But here is what it looks like. So it gathered the facts, set the host name, added host to the host file, add host to cloud, which isn't actually doing that, it's just etsy host name. Push over networking script, so that did the configuration script up here, did all that stuff, and then it restarted. And it all worked perfectly fine. Here's my Ubuntu 1 with .14 and my Ubuntu 2 with .15. And finally, just to double check, I can do a get IP of each of my Ubuntus, and as you can see, it's changed over to the static IP.